These hidden romances defied borders, laws, and even war. So why were they erased from history? From Cherokee Chief John Ross's scandalous love for a white socialite to Buffalo soldiers marrying Native women, these unions shaped America's soul. What secrets did these couples take to their graves? Discover the passion, betrayal, and resilience behind the Wild West's most explosive love stories. A Cherokee chief bans intermarriage, then secretly weds a white socialite. A captured settler girl becomes a Comanche warrior's wife, only to be ripped away. These forbidden loves defied laws, sparked wars, and reshaped history. So why were they buried? Because some truths were too dangerous to tell. What were they afraid we'd discover? Before we continue, don't forget to like and subscribe to iRich History for more interesting content like this one. The story of people connecting, pairing, building families, separating, and beginning again is central to how cultures and societies around the world have evolved. Today, we delve into some of those interracial unions. John Ross and Mary Bryan Stapler shared one of America's most legendary and celebrated romances, in part because their love crossed significant cultural lines. John Ross, the principal chief of the Cherokee from the late 1820s until he died in 1866, was instrumental in introducing strict laws that prohibited Cherokee women from marrying white men. Known as Cusco, Ross famously forbade his family members from marrying outsiders. However, after the death of his Cherokee wife, he began courting women from the elite circles of white American society. Among them was Mary Bryan Stapler, a young white woman from Wilmington, Delaware, who became the great love of his life. Their courtship and eventual marriage marked one of America's most epic love stories. While Ross was negotiating a treaty with the U.S. government on behalf of his people, he described himself as also working on his own treaty, his relationship with Stapler. His love letters to her were sent from places like Washington, D.C., New York, and the Great Plains. Another notable story is that of William Bronco Bill Irving, a white man who occasionally served as a Sioux interpreter during the 1887 tour and played Yellow Hand in performances. He was married to a Lakota woman, Ella Bissonette, daughter of Chief Rocky Bear. Ella was also an interpreter during the 1890 European tour. In one portrait, Bronco Bill is pictured with his wife and son, Benny. He wears a beaded vest, kerchief, buttoned shirt, pistol on a gun belt, and moccasins. Ella wears a fringed and beaded buckskin dress, while Benny is dressed in an embroidered shirt, chaps, a tucked pistol, and moccasins, posing against a painted backdrop of trees. Ella and Benny were beloved by the cast and crew of the Wild West show. Toby Winna Riddle, also known as Winnamaka, was a Modoc woman who stood beside her husband, Frank Riddle, during a critical moment in history, the Modoc War of 1873. Serving as an interpreter between her tribe and American soldiers, Winnamaka warned U.S. officials about a planned attack during a peace meeting, preventing further bloodshed. For her bravery, she was granted a military pension, a rare honor for an indigenous woman. She married Frank Riddle, a white settler from Kentucky who had moved to California during the gold rush. They lived near her family in the Lost River region and had a son named Cherokee, later renamed Jefferson C. Davis Riddle in honor of the Army general who ended the Modoc War. During the mid-19th century, people of color often found relative safety and freedom in borderlands regions near Mexican territory or sparsely populated areas of the U.S. These areas hosted Spanish-speaking communities composed of black people, Native Americans, and indigenous Mexicans. Through intermarriage, these communities created blended cultures rooted in various traditions. One 1887 photograph captures such a moment. A Buffalo soldier and his Native American wife, likely Mojave, pose for a portrait. The image symbolizes the merging of black and Native American identities in both family and culture. Cynthia Ann Parker's story is perhaps one of the most well-known. A white girl captured by the Comanche at age 9 during the 1836 raid on Fort Parker, in which her family was killed, was raised by the Comanche and eventually married Chief Peter Nakona. Together, they had a son, Quanah Parker, who would become a renowned Comanche leader. In 1860, Cynthia was forcibly returned to Anglo-American society. Unable to adjust, she died of heartbreak a decade later. Her life reveals a profound emotional toll experienced by those caught between two worlds. Jim Bridger, a famed mountain man, trapper, and explorer, had deep ties with Native American communities. His first wife was Cora Inzala, daughter of a Flathead chief. The two had known each other for some time before marrying. Cora died in 1845 at Fort Bridger, Wyoming, shortly after giving birth to their third child during a harsh winter. Bridger later married a Ute woman, who also died in childbirth, and then married Washakie, daughter of the Shoshone Chief Washakie. After marrying Mary, Jim moved with his family to Missouri, settling near Little Santa Fe. There, he purchased a farm of about 375 cultivated acres and hundreds more forest. With help from a neighbor, he built a log cabin for his family. Tragically, Mary died giving birth to their second child in 1857. Bridger was away at the time and didn't learn of her passing until July 1858, upon returning from an expedition out west. Sarah Winnamaka, a northern Paiute author, educator, and activist, was born into a prominent Paiute family that advocated peaceful relations with white settlers. As the daughter of Chief Winnamaka, Sarah's personal and professional life reflected a complicated relationship with Anglo-Americans, including romantic connections. Her first marriage, to a former Army lieutenant, ended in divorce. In 1881, while working as a teacher for Shoshone prisoners at Vancouver Barracks, she met Lewis H. Hopkins, an employee of the Indian Department. The two married, and Hopkins supported Sarah's work, even helping her gather materials from the Library of Congress for her book. However, he squandered much of her money. An undated studio portrait captures a Navajo man and a white woman holding hands, a powerful visual of cross-cultural union. The man wears traditional clothing adorned with beads and animal motifs, while the woman wears a modest western blouse and skirt. Her hand, gently resting on his shoulder, suggests a deep, personal bond. These stories of forbidden love weren't just romances. They were acts of defiance. In a world of division, these couples chose connection. Their struggles, sacrifices, and resilience shaped the hidden history of the West, one that was buried because it challenged the myths of conquest and separation. But their legacies live on, proving that love, even in the face of hatred and hardship, can rewrite history. If you enjoyed uncovering these untold stories, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more hidden histories. Let us know in the comments which couple's story moved you the most. Was it Cynthia Ann Parker's tragic return to a world she no longer knew? Or John Ross, the chief who broke his laws for love? Your thoughts keep these stories alive. Thanks for watching,